So my friend and I decided we wanted to compete in a Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge to see who could beat the Elite Four first. And let me tell you, that was hard. The game we chose was Pokemon Emerald. We took the typical Nuzlocke rules, but we made it so you can't heal during battle and you can't flee from a battle. With the rules in place, I started my Pokemon journey with Mudkip. And so I died against Brawly's Makahita and I had to restart. This time, Muncie, my Mudkip, leveled up twice during the battle against Roxanne and missed the chance to learn Mudshot, which totally screwed me over when I faced Watson. Okay, Abe, we can do this. Never mind, we can't do this. In the heat of my frustration, I named my guy 8888888 so that every time an NPC said my name, they would say and share my rage. Things went a little better this time. I caught a Zubat and then an Electrike and spent hours grinding them so that I wouldn't die to May this time. It was totally worth it because I one-shotted her entire team. And then I moved on to Watson and destroyed his entire team with Mudshot. Life went on from that point pretty well. I found a Numel, named him Fiery Boy, and when fighting a Coughing, he decided to die. Don't worry, you won't be missed too much. That's because right past Fall Harbor Town, I found myself my boo. As I dropped my lovely lady off into the daycare to gain a few levels, Sparky evolved. Look at you, handsome dude. With confidence and a freaking Manectric on my side, I slid into Meteor Falls, and with the help of Team Aqua's leader, I was nearly convinced he wasn't the bad guy. Flannery isn't that hard to beat if you have a water and ground type. Welcome to the team, Dilly Dilly. I took a deep breath and entered my father's gym. The amount of anxiety I had going into this gym was unreal. I was sweating so hard, I think my armpits became waterfalls. But despite my fears, I entered the gym. A Mudshot took care of his Spinda, and two more took down his Vigoroth, followed by a crit on his Linoon. Things were looking up, so what did my dad do? He put my Swampert to sleep. Yet again, another reason why my KA is named that. Because I can't use items in battle, I was kind of screwed. What to do? I can confuse him with my Golbat and whittle him down, and hopefully he ends his killing spree with himself. I ended up sending out Stumpy, the other Numel I'd caught, and tried to arm wrestle him to death, while Slacking hit himself in his confusion. It was working pretty well, until Nibapi dropped another potion on him. A few more hits and his confusion wore off, and he did some damage. Lots of it. Goodbye, Stumpy. You did well. One more confused ray and several moments of indecision left me sending out Sparky to impersonate the electric chair. You won't be killing any more of my teammates. Not today, Junior. And so, as fortune would have it, my daddy Slacking ended his killing spree by killing himself. Thank goodness, that is over. 5 gyms and 2 deaths in, we were finally starting to get in the groove of things. Turd the Magnemite joined us from New Mauville, and Boo, oh my beautiful Boo, evolved into the graceful Altaria she was meant to be. Then, as if following in its rival's footsteps, Golbat 2 evolved and spread his many wings to fly. I heard stories of Winona and her feared Altaria dragon dancing her way into an earthquake frenzy. I think those stories might be a little over-exaggerated because I hardly broke a sweat shredding her heat to pieces.
Come on, everybody, here we go! Up to Neverland!
Then came Mount Pyre. Mount Pyre is a place where people gather to remember lost Pokemon. And on that day, I lost a Pokemon. One that would be remembered. One that I loved so dearly and knew our team would never be the same without him. For some reason unbeknownst to me, I failed to realize the full potential of Wobbuffet. And it was was unable to kill it before it retaliated. I didn't know if I would ever recover from this loss. Sparky had gotten us through some hard times and was always there when I needed him. His electric personality always lit up the mood and charged every opponent without a second's thought. Goodbye, Sparky. You will be remembered. This death hurt. A lot. It ruined the rest of my day, and I was miserable. With the team crippled and emotionally battered, I made my way to the top of Mount Pyre to pay my respects and wreak havoc upon the aqua grunts blocking my path. They went down like bowling pins, and with the amount of rage carried inside of me, I thought I could take down the league brick by brick. But it would not be so, just quite yet. I checked my box, and to my surprise, found a level 30 Kecleon waiting to pay its dues. Kecleon, as it turned out, is an extremely versatile Pokemon. As I watched the submarine slide away through the sea, I realized there was a bit of a level gap in my team. Within the hour, Kecleon was on par with the rest of the squad, and so the grind begins yet again. Duskull was my main priority. He evolves into Dusclops, and he's a literal wall. And I was going to need him facing the next gym. So Claydol went down. Lunatone came out, and so did my Kecleon, losing half of his health to a Psychic while an Ice Beam knocked down Xatu. So far, so good. Kecleon's type change made it so the next Psychic didn't do as much damage, but he couldn't take another hit. I didn't want him to. And so, Choops came out with the intent to curse them both. But the moment Solrock took in Sunlight, I knew who the target was. And that was not going to happen on my watch. One more Surf might take them out, but I wasn't going to risk it. And so with a heavy heart, I sent out Boo and tried to curse Lunatone. Lunatone was a bit faster and killed Choops, leaving me with only one Pokemon to send out in his place. Stud. The Solrock had to go. He unleashed his solar beam upon my beloved Altaria, and didn't do much. Speed was on my side, and Stud Giga drained the rest of Solrock's health away. Then he took his Psychic right to the face and went down. Stud's sacrifice was not going to be in vain. His body paved the way for the final Surf to wipe away any trace of Tate and Liza and the reign of tyranny over the citizens of Moss Deep City. And so, we left the gym with one more badge and a cloud hanging over us. Stud was not the first loss, and he surely wouldn't be the last. Soon after, I teamed up Steven to clear out the Weather Institute. An incident in the ocean would rock my boat for ages to come. Gyarados thrashed my Kecleon a little too hard. At that point, I knew I needed a plan that would gain me the champion seat with no doubt. This guy, Nincada, evolves into Shedinja. Shedinja only has 1 HP, but a wild ability called Wonder Guard. With that plan in mind, I evolved Nincada and watched as Kyogre was awakened and began fighting with Groudon in the middle of Sudapolo City. I stood there and watched, clueless of what to do. I even tried to battle them, but that did not work. I chanced upon Steven, who sent me to Wallace, who sent me to the Cave of Origin, and sent me to the Sky Pillar to awaken another legendary being, who then stopped the fighting between Groudon and Kyogre. Well, with that whole mess cleaned up, it was time for me to take on Hoenn in a Hoenn-on-Hoenn battle. It was time to put Shedinja to the test. Brick, chopped the love disc, and then came Whiscash. This was where Shedinja would shine. I knew Whiscash had no moves that could touch me, so I dropped the Toxic and set up a few double teams. Easy as that. Celio died by a critical hit brick break, and then came Kingdra. The plan was the same with Whiskash. Poison her and double team up. Easy peasy. Or so I thought. What I didn't realize was that rest heals all health and status conditions. Because of that, I screwed up hard. She healed up so many times and used up all of her PP for every single one of her moves. I thought, Shedinja has Wonder Guard, he'll be fine. At this point, she has maxed out her evasiveness, and I was struggling to hit her. Combined with my stupidity, I was about to lose. Nuzlockes has a move called Shadow Punch. It never misses. But I didn't realize this, and because of this, I lost Boo and nearly lost Scully in the process. That was the worst battle yet. My key to success went down the drain, and my Boo was gone. I was lost. My team was crushed, and my spirit dampened. But never fear, for Hariyama is here. I literally just master balled Hariyama. I then threw in my fishing rod and caught a level 30 Magikarp. I had a Trapinch chilling in the daycare, so I brought him out. Victory Road fared uneventful, and I made my way to the Pokemon League, only to turn right around and do some more grinding. The recent losses opened up some gaps in my team that needed to be filled. Gyarados went from 30 to 50 in under 3 hours. Then level 45 Vibrava evolved into Flygon. Mr. Nips was nearly ready. 5 more levels and he would be. I used the TV reporter double battle grind, and I worked fairly well. Until I made a mistake. When I started to grind Hariyama, I found out that he's affected by the earthquake and dies in one hit. I'll get over it. It's not like I used my Master Ball on him or anything. And so, the time has come. The team was ready to take on the Pokemon League. After our journeys together and the many gym badges we have attained through the course of this game, we are about to take on the hardest challenge yet. Sydney was easy. Swampert pulled some Taekwondo on him and karate chopped every single one of his Pokemon. I led with Scully going into the battle with Phoebe, and Phoebe's Dusclock killed itself after laying a curse on me. I switched in, Freddy Earthquake the crap out of the rest of our team. 2 down, 3 to go. Next up was Glacia. I was kind of worried about this battle because one of her Glalie nose explosion. The other thing I was worried about was her Walrein. That thing is so thick, it was going to be tough. The battle started off good. I took care of the first Celio and Glalie. The next 2 Celio and Glalies got Scully and Freddy down pretty low, so I switched into Gyarados when Walrein was brought out. Several double teams later, I was pretty much set and started to Thunderbolt. I got it down pretty low and managed to paralyze it. But then it struck back, and so it used sheer cold. Gyara became a very large popsicle. Despite his low health, I sent out Freddy in an attempt to get one last hit in before Glacia healed. But from some stroke of luck, the Walrein ate its berry and healed just enough for Glacia not to heal it. And with that, one more karate chop brought it down. Next up was Drake. Ice Beam wrecked Shelgon and then Altaria. 2 Earthquakes took care of his Kingdra after it removed half of Freddy's health. Flygon outsped Freddy and got a hit off. He's gone. Then came Salamence. I sent out Mr. Nips in an attempt to KO him, but only succeeded in getting him down to half health before dying. Instead of sending out Scully with full health, I switched to Freddy in an attempt to outspeed the Salamence. and kill it before it could wipe out the rest of my team. And just like that, Freddy survives the Dragon Claw and finishes the battle. At this point, I realize my chances of success are low, but I have to try anyways. Maybe by some stroke of luck, I can defeat all of 6 Wallace's Pokemon and claim my rightful place as champion of the Hoenn region. But luck was not on my side that day. Wailord went down pretty easily, but when Ludicolo came out, my Scully did not make it through. Ludicolo knows Giga Drain, and one of those would murder Freddy. And so, I desperately ice beamed and brick braked in a desperate attempt to make it through the fight. But it wasn't going down easily. Freddy's health was being sapped every turn by the Leech Seed. It was only a matter of time before he stopped toying with me. The Giga Drain finally came. And Freddy lived. Well, that's it. With $224,000 and 31.5 hours of gameplay, I had lost. The final squad that leapt into the Pokemon League without grinding those few final levels cost me dearly. And so, with a heavy heart, I bid myself to the PC and released my entire team. All of those losses really got to me. First, it was Fiery Boy, then Stumpy, and then Sparky. The first one that actually hurt. Dilly Dilly, Turd, Shoop. Then it was Stud, a trusty Crobat, giving his life for the cause. Camel, Shedinja, and Boo in the same battle by the same Kingdra. That was a rough fight. Saving grace, and then everyone else. I spent the next week brokenhearted and crestfallen. I could hardly pay attention in school, and my heart occasionally stopped when I reflected on the events of the past 2 weeks. Just thinking about it now makes me want to cry.